I remember on my way out, I asked the girl that was working the door, I said, like, how do you get involved in this? And she said, well, we do tryouts, roughly twice a year. And then we do an intake of new students. And she said, we've just done a tryout. It's like, you've just missed one. So like the next one will be in about 6 months time. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to think about this for 6 months and I'm going to start mentally and physically preparing for it in the best way that I can. And so I basically stayed in touch with the Facebook page at the time, and I was just messaging, don't know who I was messaging, but I was messaging somebody, and they were just getting back to me being like, yeah, we're going to have tryouts on X date and you're invited to come along. And so I remember going a week beforehand, they invited all of the people who were interested in trying out to come and watch a training session, right? And so I come to this training session down at Wingfield. This is in probably March of 2015, right? So this is well over 10 years ago now. And I sat on a folding chair and I watched this. It was a rookie night. So it's like a beginner's class. And I'm sitting and I'm watching a 18-year-old Rhea Ripley. Like,
oh, wow.
Like fucking, I remember watching at that time, right? Because everybody says that they all go, oh, the first time I laid eyes on her, I knew she was going to be special. That was my experience.
Yeah, right.
Fucking straight up, dude. I remember sitting there and just being like,
just aura.
What the fuck and who the fuck is that? I'd never seen anything like it before. I was like, she's stunning. Like I can't take my eyes off her. Like she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, but she also looks like she could kill me.
Badass.
You know what I mean? So like, and this is an 18-year-old Demi Bennett at the time, And one of the other people that was there was Agostino Pepe, who is this, at the time I knew him as this crazy wrestling fan who he went to CBC and he was a few years younger than me, and I just knew him as this crazy wrestling kid, and he was training there, all right? And I'm just going like, what is this place? This is mad. This is like a fucking circus. Like, and they've just got tall guys, small guys, experienced guys, fat guys, like all these different kind of people, and they're bumping in the ring and they're rolling. And in amongst it all, you've got this Rhea Ripley, young 18-year-old Rhea Ripley, just like executing everything better than everyone there. And I was like, okay, this is nuts. Like, I have to do this. Like, and then I had my tryout, and I remember just the tryout actually being like pretty easy. Like it was just like a bit of cardio.
Are you naturally pretty athletic?
I am. I played football, Australian rules football. I played soccer, basketball, cricket, swimming, athletics. Because
it looks like the athleticism part of it is like a great benefit of yours.
And I'd already started. Like I'm only 18 at the time, so I'd already started working out and had made whatever gains I was able to from age of 17 to 18 or whatever. So I was already used to having like a pretty strict training regimen just from playing sport my whole life and all that sort of thing. And so I killed this tryout, and then they made us. They actually got us to get in the ring, and they chopped us, which was pretty wild. And then they got us to take like an assisted bump so we could find out what it felt like to be actually in a wrestling ring. And that makes or breaks a lot of people. A lot of people will go, yeah, I want to be a wrestler. But until they feel the impact of that wrestling ring, they don't know if they want to be a wrestler or not.
It's not as soft as people think, eh?
It isn't. There's definitely give, and it depends on the ring. You get some shit-ass rings, and then you get some outstanding rings. But over time, that impacts. It's just going to do a lot of fucking damage.
Yeah.
So I did the tryout. They accepted me into the school, and I just started my journey like anyone else, man, with the forward rolls and the learning how to do a collar and elbow tie up, and how to put someone in a headlock, and how to take a bump on the mat, and then just the building blocks emerge from there. So I'm in a school with like a young Rhea Ripley, and then 6 months later you had an 18-year-old Gabriel Eros come into the school, and these people started to become like my best friends, you know what I mean? Like from that age. And so we all came up together, and then it took me maybe 6 months, probably actually even less, to be ready to do a show with them. And then I had my first match at the Latvian Hall in Wayville.
Yeah, right.
And I was teaming with a guy at the time, his name was Sadakone. He's not wrestling anymore, but he was in my tryout, and we were a tag team. And we were against this newly formed tag team who were a few years more experienced than us, called the Millennials, Dean Brady and James Cray. And we had this match in the Latvian hall, and it was like, there was a lot of people in there. I'd say there was probably about 400 people in there. And there was probably close to 50 that were my friends and family that were coming to see me.
Yeah, right. The pop would have been so cool.
Fucking huge. From the moment I walked out there and felt that energy, and then actually got in the ring and realized, oh, you don't feel the bumps when you're out here.
The adrenaline, it's after.
and how you feel in that moment, and how you feel afterwards, and the come down. I was hooked, man. And I was like, oh, I want to do this. And I'm passionately absorbing everything that's going on around me simultaneously. You know, like the year I started, around that exact same time that I was getting started, was when we talked about Seth Rollins before. When Seth Rollins first cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase back in 2015 at WrestleMania 31, I remember that moment as a fan and just being like, oi, this shit is wild. And like, I'm just starting my journey as a training, you know, in training. And I was just like, I have to do this shit, you know? And I was like, this is what I want to pursue. And so that was just the start of the story, and it's had a lot of twists and turns, and here I am now. So it's been crazy.